Hi guys, Bornstar Yuumi here again. In this video I'm going to talk about runes for Yuumi as well as whatever tips I can kind of think off the top of my head, and as well as my thoughts on what items you should build in what situations, why I think Athene's is overrated, and also why you should not currently take Mana Flow Band or Presence of Mind on Yuumi ever since the E change where it gave percentage mana. So, I go to runes here. Our rune page. This is the standard page I run on Yuumi. I almost always run this. Airy, kind of self-explanatory. It can add a little bit of damage to your trades. You can proc it with your W. It scales better than Guardian currently. Guardian only has a 0.15 AP ratio on the shielding. It does have a little bit of a bonus health ratio, but most of Yuumi's items don't have any HP on them. Also, it's on a much lower cooldown, and although the base amount isn't as high on it, due to the superior scaling and lower cooldown, in most games you would end up getting more shield out of it overall. Now that Guardian no longer gives the move speed, I don't like running it. Because before you could run Guardian and it could really enable those like bruiser junglers that we'd hop on, like the Heck runes, even like Graves, it was pretty good. Just help them chase and sustain, and gives you more kind of upfront burst. But over time, Ares just the one to go with here. It's just better than Guardian overall. Revitalize ever since the E mana change. I like running Revitalize. Presence of Mind, it increases your mana by 500. And considering E is 15% of your mana, if we do some math here, I believe it's like 70-ish. So let's say we do 500 times 0.15 or 15%, that would be 75 mana actually. So every single E you cast is an extra 75 mana. Yeah, I mean, sure, if you get a kill or an assist, you'll get 20% of your mana back, which is just enough about the heal if you calculate the flat amount that it costs for you to use it. So let's say you have, I don't know, Yuumi at like a certain level. Let's say Yuumi has 1,000 base mana at like level 13 or 14, something like that. And you have the Presence of Mind, that gives you 1,500 in total. Times by 0.15 is 225 mana for heal. And then I believe at max rank E, the mana cost is 60. That would give your E cost 285 mana. Whereas if you didn't take Presence of Mind, 1,000 times 0.15 plus 60 is only 210 mana. So as you can see there, every heal is 75 extra mana. If you do get a Presence of Mind proc, and you have 1,500 mana times 0.2 here, you get 300 mana back, which is just over enough to heal one time. The issue with this is that it's reliant on somebody dying, which sometimes in extended fights people won't die, especially if they have an Enchantress support on their team as well. That can take a little bit longer to kill people, and you're effectively making every single E cost more for the rest of the game just by taking Presence of Mind. Sure, it does give you a little bit more mana for your Q, but Yuumi in her current state isn't really about using her Q, it's all about your heal, and that's why I really don't think Presence of Mind is worth it. I would much rather have the 5% extra healing on my heals all the time from Revitalize, and if they do hit below 40% HP, you also get 15% extra, and then that also works on your heal, your summoner heal that you should be taking. It just ends up being much more better overall. Gathering Storm, Q damage really isn't enough on Yuumi in most lines, in my opinion, to poke people out anymore. You should just be going for the Gathering Storm. It'll give you more AP later on in the game, which will help transfer more Adaptive Force to your enemies. It'll help increase the base value of your heal. I mean, you will do a little bit more damage with your ultimate and Q as well. Overall, it just ends up adding more to your Scorch, more damage than what Scorch is going to give you. It improves the value of your Ares shield, improves the value of your passive shield, improves the amount of move speed you give. Just Gathering Storm is the way to go here. Water Walking could be okay. I mean, if you're roaming a little bit, usually it's really hard to roam by yourself on Yuumi. The move speed's not going to benefit you while you're on somebody else, so typically I wouldn't recommend it. Transcendence, I just think is the best one to have. Sure, Adaptive Force, Absolute Focus gives you a bit of AP. It will increase the value of your heals a little bit earlier on in the game. But personally, usually, I believe after a certain point, you're going to get more AP out of Transcendence. It allows you to stack CDR much more effectively, especially if you get a blue buff later on in the game. And it just helps you hit that 40% cap much earlier so that you can effectively pump out heals as often as possible. I think having that heal that much faster, especially with the way CDR works in the current state, the more CDR you get percentage-wise, it's actually exponential in terms of how it affects ability cooldowns. When ability haste comes out, it will change. But in the current moment of time, I just think Transcendence is a better choice than going Absolute Focus or any of the other ones. Nullifying Orb. The reason I take this is because really there's nothing else good in this tree. I mean, Nimbus Cloak, okay, you get off somebody, maybe you blow a summoner, you survive once in a while. When you're actually on somebody, you're not going to benefit from the move speed. Manifold Band here, same reason. It's garbage. Do not take it. When people take this, it tilts the fuck out of me. Similar to Presence of Mind, it just costs an extra 37.5 mana on your heals for the rest of the game. If you have 1,000 mana, you're getting 1% of that mana back every 5 seconds. 1% of 1,000 is 10. So you get 10 mana every 5 seconds. Your heal cooldown is basically, I don't know the actual amount, I can look it up here. Sorry, 1 second. Yuumi Wiki. I'm assuming it's somewhere around 5 seconds when you have max CDR. Maybe it's a little higher, maybe it's a little lower. But it's going to add up to much more mana than it's going to get back to you. It's going to make all those mana regen items you're building that much less efficient. Just don't do it. Let's see here if it tells me here. So Yuumi E is 8-second cooldown. 8 times 0.6. That's a 4.8-second cooldown. So yeah, you're basically costing an extra 37.5 mana every time you heal, if you're healing off cooldown, and you're only getting 10 mana back. So please do not take it. It's just better to have raw mana regen. Late game, you can get the blue buff in the AP pot. If you build all mana regen items, you're able to pretty much infinitely sustain your heal anyways, especially if you're getting passive procs off. So it's just far better not to do it. This is the more debatable one. Personally, I like Shield Bash because it just adds some like extra oomph on your autos. It procs immediately on the first auto from your passive when you use it. You can also do some cool things that I'll show you in a practice tool here with Shield Bash. You can reapply it. Like, so if you hop on your ADC, you jump off, because the shield is transferring back to you, it counts as getting Shield Bash again. You can do a quick little auto jump on auto off trade. Like, I don't always get to use it, but it does come in handy sometimes. It adds a little bit of extra poke damage in lane, especially against those enchanter lanes where you don't have to fear they're engaged as much. So that's really nice. With the extra oomph from area, it really helps. It does technically give you a little bit of resistances that you can use here. So later on in the game, it does 30 damage, right? Plus 8.5% of your shield amount. Since you're building heal and shield power items and you get a little bit of AP, that actually does, I believe, go up to pretty significant damage. Like, it might even be like 60 or 70 damage, plus the Airy proc, which is going to be 40 plus 0.1 of your AP. You can get like a 100 damage plus auto on Yuumi, plus your base attack damage, which often can catch people by surprise, pick up those kills that you wouldn't normally be able to get otherwise. It does give you, like I said earlier, I believe, it does give you a little bit of extra tankiness from the autos. Other things I've thought about trying are Demolish, just in easier lanes, just to go for early plates. Kind of troll, but because you don't build much HP, but even the base amount of it's pretty significant. Other things you could go, Font of Life. I mean, when you ulti people, if you have a lot of auto attackers, maybe a Hurricane Builder, and you AoE ult the people, you could get some decent healing out of it. Normally, in most of my games, I haven't noticed getting that much value out of it, so I don't build it. You can Q slow people and get it, but I'm not a Q spammer in lane. I usually save my mana for using heal and try to get my ADC to play more aggressive that way. Have either the heal to speed them up and get them in range so they can do damage that way, or whatever, stuff like that. Runes here, I mean, you can go CDR per level. Generally, I just like having the extra adaptive force for extra oomph on my heals early on in the game. I thought about going attack speed and stuff like that, just in lanes where you can be more aggressive with your autos, but like 99% of the time I still go adaptive force. Same thing for the second rune. You would never get these because usually you shouldn't be the main person taking damage. This one I've kind of changed from time to time. If I'm against like double AD, I'll take the armor. If I really think I need magic resist, sometimes I go for the MR, and then even sometimes I'll go for the health one It adds a little bit of extra damage to a shield bash, not very much, but and if they kind of had mixed damage in the lane, then maybe it'll help you survive. But if you're against something like a brand or something like that, they do percentage anyways, so I'd probably still just either go MR or armor. So let's go into the custom tool. Let me show you a couple of mechanics with Yuumi that you might not have been aware of. I know there's not that many that I can do or show, especially without having a teammate, but I will try my best. Pick Yuumi, almost always take exhaust heal. I don't know what else you would want to take. I mean, even if you want to run an Ignite in the lane, I think it's better if the ADC just runs it. Although not all the ADCs are good with Ignite. I really like Twitch with Ignite. It's really easy to pick up kills with them on an Ignite. Like, if it happens to run mid lane or something like that, or if he's in a situation where he's not risk of dying. Generally speaking, I think you should take like the barrier on the ADC or the cleanse and just play kind of safe. Build those advantages up slowly over time and just use them for safety so that you make very little mistakes. You're very hard to all in. And then you can, barriers a really low cooldown. Same with exhaust and heal. You can look for those constant summoner trades in order to get an advantage so that you can then punish them again the next time your summons are out.
We got this.
Let's just load in here. Now, let me go in on about item builds. I almost always rush Mikhail's. That isn't always because that, like, I feel the need to cleanse a CC. A lot of people are like, oh, they have lots of CC, you should go Mikhail's, right? But then they just have another CC to follow up immediately with anyways. And sometimes Mikhail's is actually better even if they have one CC. So let's say they're only engaged as Ashe, and you have Mikhail's, then you can basically stuff it almost every time. Hopefully the rest of the time your ADC either has their flash or they don't get hit by it, whatever. But a lot of the time your Mikhail's is going to be up. If your ADC runs cleanse, and even harder, you're very stick-proof. There's some interesting synergies you can do with Mikhail's. Like, it does remove slow immunity as well. So sometimes in order to help my champions engage, or like say like my bruiser frontline is getting kited by like an Ashe, you can give them the slow immunity, even especially once the arrow's down. And the Ashe won't be able to kite anymore, essentially. Cool things you can do. Certain champions, like if you have a Galio's W slows him down a lot, so you can Mikhail's him in advance just to help him get that in W engaged, because he can basically run at full move speed. I'm not sure. I think it does. I'd have to test this, but it's possible that they may get the 40% move speed when you remove the self slow that they have. I'd have to test it. You can also use it on your Blitzcrank technically to slow the W. Skarner ult slows himself as well. So there's some kind of cool interactions you can do with Mikhail's in that sense. But the main reason I rush Mikhail's is because ever since the E change, Yuumi's E costs so much damn mana, and if you really want to sustain your ADC, you just go the 4 Fairy Charm build, usually value Control Ward on my back. Sometimes I even go for 5 Fairy Charms if I'm feeling especially greedy, but most of the time, probably, especially at high reload, you should get that Control Ward and, you know, buy it. Now, Mikhail's here, alright? So let's just do some testing here, because I haven't done the math on this, but my line of thinking is, okay, Athene's here, as you can see, it says 100 to 250 max damage. So let's say, I don't know, let me put myself at level 10, just one of Yuumi's power spikes when she gets her Transcendence. I probably get Mikhail's oftentimes before level 10, but that's my max rank E and level 10 Transcendence, so let's just do that for testing wise. You'd also have your little Spell Thieves here, would probably be evolved by that point. You might have a couple other Fairy Charm items, but let's just say you only have Mikhail's. So I'm going to take some damage to the turret. I'm going to E, 303 damage, right? Okay. If I get a little bit lower, I might even do more. So this will also affect the Summoner Heal. 309, 303, right? So not bad. Now, let's say I had Athene's instead. Athene's gives you a little bit more AP, that is for sure. I mean, you don't get the HP regen that you would get from Mikhail's, you get AP instead. Other than that, I believe it's slightly more expensive. No, it's the same price. It's actually... Okay, anyways, it's the same price, but if you notice here, right now, at level 10, the amount that Athene heals me is only an extra 179. So let's go take some damage. 282. So I believe, what was it before? A little bit, Now, if you're on a champion, the adaptive force you get and stuff like that will influence these a bit. But, let's see. Things here, we sell this.
Tony won, but I love hugs.
I have pretty much no AP. 303. So it heals a little bit more on yourself. Now, on a champion, obviously, because you can, like if you fully charge Athenes, let's say. Let's get my ulti here. Yeah, you have a couple points in Q by then, I guess. Generally, you should be maxing heal, not your Q. You're not going to full charge Athenes off one Q. Let me sell my Mikhails, though, just so you see. But the Athenes passive also gets better when you have the heal power from Revitalize.
Time to save the world again.
If you don't run Revitalize, it's going to be even worse. But also the Mikhails, if you go Mikhails first and then you build Athenes, you've got more levels under your belt. Like realistically, you're probably not even going to be level 10, so the Athenes is going to be even less than 179. But the main point is here. Let's see. I need to put a friendly one. Oops. So let's see if I can hit him. So that gives 99, right? So that's about half of the Athenes value, maybe a little more. Let's say auto attack him here, 151. I still didn't get it. Auto him again. I finally get like my Athenes fully charged, right? So if I jump on this target dummy, 489. So yes, in terms of a burst heal, it is better. I sometimes still do it, but if they have any significant CC, I personally believe that having the ability to remove that CC, help get your team that engage off, or just stifle their engage, keep your ADC alive, is essentially giving more HP to your ADC because they're not stuck in one place taking shitloads of damage than whatever the amount from Athenes is going to give you. I just think it's way safer. Like you play into the Ashe matchup, being able to cleanse that arrow instantly, being able to get them away from that lockdown of the Leona or whatever, is just way more valuable than having that Athenes passive that is going to take you a while to charge. And actually, probably if you're rushing both items, I don't even think you're going to be level 10 by the time you get it. Usually, I'd probably level 10 by the time I get like maybe 1.5 to 2 items. So it's not as good. You're still going to build it second almost always. And then at that point, because you have the Mikhails, that's 20% heal and shield power. It's just the biggest heal and shield power item currently in the game. That is going to change with the next patch, and things isn't in the next game anyways. In the PB anyways right now. But say I take some damage. I get the 316 there. If I heal my ally here, so let's get my ulti. Ulti can also help charge the themes. One of the better ways to get the damage. Otherwise, it's really hard. Hopefully, this guy takes some damage. Yep. So damage him again. Come on, bot. I need you to damage him. There we go. So I'm just waiting for the bot to hopefully get it low enough that I can actually show you how much it healed just with 2. Fuck, it didn't. Yeah. Come on, bot. Come on, keep going. Yep. Yep. Good boy. Alright. So now with these 2 items, if you get below 30%, that's when you can heal a really big amount. I actually didn't heal as much that time. Interesting. I don't know. Anyways, let me show you the shield bash mechanic. So I hop them, proc shield bash. If I jump on an ally, then they get off, and immediately proc shield bash again. So you can see there it's already done. It does, let's see, 18 plus how much? I'll check it here. Let's see here. 31, 26 plus the base damage of Aerie. Went from 134. So yeah, it's like 20, 30-ish damage in the mid game. Not too shabby. I mean, technically you can get on somebody, get off, stuff like that. Hop on them again. As long as you still have the shield every time you get on and off, you're going to be able to benefit from that little bit of extra damage. If you get off right when, so like, let's say you have the shield on here, and you want to get burst. So if you get right off, like let's say I still have the shield, I believe, I get off, I auto. Fuck, I fucked that up, okay. So we're on here. Hopefully the guy doesn't lose his shield. Get it off here. So now I have my shield, right? I don't know if I can wait for it to go off cooldown. I think if I auto... Okay, yeah, alright. Go on this guy. I'm gonna wait till it comes off cooldown. So like right before it goes off cooldown, what you can do is you get off, you auto, Oops, fucking fucked it up again. Alright. Third time's the charm. So if I get off at, like, let's say, like, 3 seconds, get that auto. Wait, he lost the passive. I'm literally system. Fourth time's the charm. Okay, heal ourselves out of there. Get on this ally. So, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna proc our shield bash auto. Boom. And then since our shield comes up again, boom. Getting back-to-back shield bash autos. I mean, I've probably done it before accidentally. I think I've only done it like a few times intentionally, but like it's just something cool you can do. Sometimes it can lead to you getting a kill. What else do we have? I mean, the key thing is with Yuumi, I make this mistake often. I ulti, and then I realize I need my passive proc, and then fucking stupid game doesn't let you get your passive proc when you're ulting, because you can't auto attack while ulting on Yuumi. That's something to keep in mind. Third item, we'll go Ardent if it's like an ADC that scales really well with attack speed, or if I have any other champions that go with attack speed. If not, Redemption does give more mana regen. It is a tad bit cheaper. Teamfight wise, if you can get a good Redemption down, you can heal people. It allows you to help people on other areas of the map that you're not super close to, because the range on Redemption is pretty large. So that's a good option as well. If my team really needs to engage on them, or we just have like really good engage, like a Hecarim or something like that, sometimes I go Shirelias. It's very cheap. I mean, the health on it isn't very good. It doesn't give you quite as much mana regen as the Redemption. It doesn't give you quite as much AP as the Ardent. It does give you a little bit from the mana regen into Athenes, but generally this is just for engaging. Helps you speed your team up, and then you can follow up with an R. So that's a pretty good combo as well. If you do go the Ardent, you don't usually get to this stage, but you get the Ardent. As you can see, you're already at 184 AP. If you're actually on an ally champion that has a decent amount of stats, you'll probably have even more than that. Like, this will probably be like 250 or something like that. If you're at the point where, let's fast forward here a bit, where you have like at least your 20-minute Gathering Storm. If not, probably you would have 30-minute, honestly, by the time you get to this stage in the game. So let's say you have a 30-minute Gathering Storm. You're in a fucking fiesta. The game's going on for a long time. You want to really have like some massive heals and impact on the late game. Rather than building, if you don't think you need any more mana regen, what you can do is you can go for the death cap. So this build is one of the strongest late game builds you can get on any support. You get the 30% extra heal power on your items, plus whatever you get from Revitalize, plus a shitload of AP. So not only is having a crap load of AP going to give you tons of move speed on your E, it's going to give you a really big heal, because the heal ratio on Yuumi's E is decent. It's going to give you a ton of adaptive force, which is going to increase their damage, and your ulti damage is also going to get pretty significant. So right now you can see it's at 420. Dank memes. Let's say we build the death cap. We got our, not our level 30. Let me get the one more here actually. Level 48. So you're going to have the 48 AP from Gathering Storm. Wish I had an ally to jump on with decent stats so that you can see how much AP you're going to get. But let's say I build death cap, right? And then, you know, you also get this guy, Elixir Sorcery, 568 AP. That's before you jump on an ally. Honestly, if you jump on an ally like with decent stats, especially if it's like a Vigor or something and he has a death cap as well, you're hitting like 900, 1000 AP, something stupid like that. And even at this state, you can see your E is 74% move speed. Even when I was on the ally champion here, if you have more AP than that, it's going to be even faster. So you can give tons of utility for them to kite with. Your base heal is 437. Like if I'm taking damage here, let me toggle the Tower Fire again. 469, that's without the Athene's passive. You can get like 1k value heals or more. Your Q damage is going to be decent. Your ulti damage is 700. Like if you hit that on a whole team, it's pretty significant. This is just one of my favorite late game builds on Yuumi. Is to get these items. It very rarely happens. It's expensive as fuck, but if you have the right champions and the game looks like it's going to go long enough, it can be a good build. Lately, I haven't been doing it quite as often. I've just been kind of going for the final mana regen item just to spam heal even more. But it is something you can go for. It's a lot of fun, and I'd highly recommend at least trying it once. Wow, okay. So that's all I can think of off the top of my head for now. Unfortunately, ever since the E mana change, it can't really go. It really ruined Yuumi's build diversity. Luckily, the PBE does change that a little bit, but you're still going to be gated into going support items only. just because all the AP items seem to have mana on them, other than like Death Cap, so you can still do that, but then you don't have the kind of the Athene's AP you get from mana regen, so your AP values are going to be a lot lower than Yuumi on before. The good news is Presence of Mind is no longer going to be shit on her. You're going to be able to use that. It's just going to give you mana regen, so your burst healing is going to go down. You're not going to give quite as much adapter stats, but you're going to get a lot of extra utility on her from some of the new items, like Moonstone, just to be able to heal teammates that you're not even on. You're going to be able to speed people up a lot with that Staff of Flung Father, even give people a little bit of AP indirectly from that healing passive rather than just from your adaptive force. What else? You get more mana regen overall. Fairy Charm costs more money, but it gives twice as much mana regen, so I might even try like an interesting build with just stacking Fairy Charm, something like that. Probably better to just rush your Mythic, though. But I will make another video going more in depth on the PvE changes. That is still subject to change, so maybe some of the support items get a little bit more AP on them. Maybe some of them get buffed a little bit. I think overall I am liking the PvE changes on Yuumi, and I think it's just going to be in a good spot. Won't be able to burst heal for as much, but on those tanky bruiser champions, you're going to be able to offer more sustained healing in lane. You're going to be harder to push out of lane than before. But in terms of an all-in, you are going to be a little bit weaker. But on champions that can live long enough, you're going to be able to heal them more over time, I believe. And hopefully that extra utility will balance out. And she feels a lot better to play on the PvE at least. So I am excited for that. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know I rambled on a lot, but if you like it, please subscribe. That's it for now. Thanks.